Charles Hardin Holly September 7, 1936 to February 3, 1959, known as Buddy Holly, was an American singer and songwriter who was a central and pioneering figure of mid-1950s rock and roll. He was born to a musical family in Lubbock, Texas, during the Great Depression, and learned to play guitar and sing alongside his siblings. Holly's style was influenced by gospel music, country music, and rhythm and blues acts, which he performed in Lubbock with his friends from high school. Holly made his first appearance on local television in 1952, and the following year he formed the group Buddy and Bob with his friend Bob Montgomery. In 1955, after opening for Elvis Presley, Holly decided to pursue a career in music. He opened for Presley 3 times that year. His band's style shifted from country and western to entirely rock and roll. In October that year, when Holly opened for Bill Haley his Comets, he was spotted by Nashville scout Eddie Crandall, who helped him get a contract with Decca Records. Holly's recording sessions at Decca were produced by Owen Bradley, who had become famous for producing orchestrated country hits for stars like Patsy Cline. Unhappy with Bradley's musical style and control in the studio, Holly went to producer Norman Petty in Clovis, New Mexico, and recorded a demo of That'll Be the Day, among other songs. Petty became the band's manager and sent the demo to Brunswick Records, which released it as a single credited to the Crickets, which became the name of Holly's band. In September 1957, as the band toured, That'll Be the Day topped the US and UK singles charts. Its success was followed in October by another major hit, Peggy Sue. The album The Chirping Crickets, released in November 1957, reached number 5 on the UK albums chart. Holly made his second appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in January 1958 and soon after toured Australia and then the UK. In early 1959, he assembled a new band, consisting of future country music star Waylon Jennings bass, famed session musician Tommy Alsop guitar, and Carl Bunch drums, and embarked on a tour of the Midwestern US. After a show in Clear Lake, Iowa, Holly chartered an airplane to travel to his next show in Moorhead, Minnesota. Soon after takeoff, the plane crashed, killing Holly, Ritchie Valens, the Big Bopper, and pilot Roger Peterson in a tragedy later referred to by Don McLean as the day the music died in his song American Pie. During his short career, Holly wrote and recorded many songs. He is often regarded as the artist who defined the traditional rock and roll lineup of 2 guitars, bass, and drums. Holly was a major influence on later popular music artists, including Bob Dylan, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Eric Clapton, the Hollies, Elvis Costello, Dave Edmunds, Marshall Crenshaw, and Elton John. Holly was among the first artists inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 1986, Rolling Stone magazine ranked him number 13 in its list of 100 greatest artists in 2010. Life and career. Early life and career 1936 to 1955. Holly was born as Charles Hardin Holly spelled E-Y in Lubbock, Texas, on September 7, 1936, the youngest of 4 children of Lawrence Odell Ello Holly 1901-85 and Ella Pauline Drake 1902-90. His elder siblings were Larry 1925-2022, 2, Travis 1927-2016, 3, and Patricia Lou 1929-2008, 4. Holly was of mostly English and Welsh descent and had small amounts of Native American ancestry as well. 5. From early childhood, Holly was nicknamed Buddy. 6. During the Great Depression, the Hollys frequently moved residence within Lubbock. Allo changed jobs several times. Buddy Holly was baptized a Baptist, and the family were members of the Tabernacle Baptist Church. 6. The Hollys had an interest in music. All the family members except Allo were able to play an instrument or sing. The elder Holly brothers performed in local talent shows. On one occasion, Buddy joined them on violin. Since he could not play it, His brother Larry greased the bow so it would not make any sound. The brothers won the contest. 7. During World War II, Larry and Travis were called to military service. Upon his return, Larry brought with him a guitar he had bought from a shipmate while serving in the Pacific. At age 11, at his mother's urging, Buddy took piano lessons but abandoned them after 9 months. He switched to the guitar after he saw a classmate playing and singing on the school bus. Buddy's parents initially bought him a steel guitar, but he insisted that he wanted a guitar like his brothers. His parents bought him an acoustic guitar from a local pawn shop, and he learned how to play it from Travis. 8. During his early childhood, Holly was influenced by the music of Hank Williams, Jimmy Rogers, Moon Mullican, Bill Monroe, Hank Snow, Bob Wills, and the Carter family. At Roscoe Wilson Elementary, Holly became friends with Bob Montgomery, and the two played together, practicing with songs by the Louvin Brothers and Johnny Jack. 9. They both listened to the radio programs Grand Ole Opry on WSM, Louisiana Hayride on KWKH, and Big D Jamboree. At the same time, Holly played with other musicians he met in high school, including Sonny Curtis and Jerry Allison. 10. In 1952, Holly and Jack Neal participated as a duo billed as Buddy and Jack in a talent contest on a local television show. After Neal left, he was replaced by Bob Montgomery, and they were billed as Buddy and Bob. They soon started performing on the Sunday Party Show on KDAV in 1953 and performed live gigs in Lubbock. 11. At that time, Holly was influenced by late-night radio stations that played blues and rhythm and blues R&B. He would sit in his car with Curtis and tune to distant radio stations that could only be received at night. When local transmissions ceased, 12. Holly then modified his music by blending his earlier country and western CW influence with R&B. 13. By 1955, after graduating from Lubbock High School, Holly decided to pursue a full-time career in music. He was further encouraged after seeing Elvis Presley perform live in Lubbock, whose act was booked by Pappy Dave Stone of KDAV. In February, Holly opened for Presley at the Fair Park Coliseum, in April at the Cotton Club, and again in June at the Coliseum. By that time, Holly had incorporated into his band Larry Wellborn on the stand-up bass and Allison on drums. As his style shifted from country and western to rock and roll due to seeing Presley's performances and hearing his music. 12. In October, Stone booked Bill Haley his Comets and placed Holly as the opening act to be seen by Nashville scout Eddie Crandall. Impressed, Crandall persuaded Grand Ole Opry manager Jim Denny to seek a recording contract for Holly. Stone sent a demo tape, which Denny forwarded to Paul Cohen, who signed the band to Decca Records in February 1956. 14. In the contract, Decca misspelled Holly's surname as Polly, and from then on he was known as Buddy Holly, instead of his real name Holly. Citation needed. On January 26, 1956, Holly attended his first formal recording session, which was produced by Owen Bradley. 15. He attended 2 more sessions in Nashville, but with the producer selecting the session musicians and arrangements. Holly became increasingly frustrated by his lack of creative control. 14. In April 1956, Decca released Blue Days, Black Nights as a single, with Love Me on the B-side. Denny included Holly on a tour as the opening act for Fair and Young. During the tour, they were promoted as Buddy Holly and the Two Tones, while later Decca called them Buddy Holly and the Three Tunes. 14. The label later released Holly's second single Modern Don Juan, backed with You Are My One Desire. Neither single made an impression. On January 22, 1957, Decca informed Holly his contract would not be renewed, but insisted he could not record the same songs for anyone else for 5 years. 16.